Today is the 50-year anniversary of President Richard Nixon visiting China, marking the first time a U.S. president traveled to that country since 1949. This as the Winter Olympics wrapped up in the communist country this weekend. The games were filled with controversy, COVID regulations, and human rights concerns. After returning home, a Swedish gold medalist speed skater said it was extremely irresponsible to let China host the games. And joining me now is Hoon Kim, director of the Captive Nations Coalition on the Committee of Present Danger China. Hoon, welcome so much. So great to see you here today. Thank you so much for coming on. Let's talk about this historic anniversary and what has changed over the past 50 years, in particular in China.
Well, the situation has only gotten worse in China, as we have foolishly thought that they would be a respectable partner since the beginning, but that has not happened ever. And so as the situation is getting worse day by day, it's imperative that we as part of the free world act on it.
Absolutely. No, I know you consider yourself a history buff. Talk to us about, why as a young man you became so interested in China, in particular, with the CCP.
Well, firstly, my background, especially in my high school years, was that I was a supporter of the CCP. Matter of fact, I was a supporter of the Marxist ideals. Ironically, I was in a Catholic school myself as well. And the reason behind it was because I was rebellious to a point, rebellious of the system that I couldn't really identify with in that sense. And I guess this ideology really gave me a bit of a mental ease. And so, long story short, I began to look at China as the solution for everybody, a place where socialism and communism thrived while having all of these modern benefits. So that's part of the reason why it got me interested in the CCP. Yet, when I went to college and began doing research about the realities of the CCPs and its human rights abuses and whatnot, I became enlightened in that sense, and really thanks to great professors from the Veritas Forum and even talking to victims of the CCP, the Falun Gong practitioners, I was able to really open up my eyes to the realities of the abuses of the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah, that's great, because I was going to ask you, what got you interested in kind of the other side, and really now you're an advocate. Talk to us more about that.
So currently I'm serving as a director of the Captive Nations Coalition. We represent nations that have been taken over by the Chinese Communist Party, so mainly the Southern Mongolians, East Turkestan, Tibet, Hong Kong, and really all of China. And what we do is we want to voice their concerns to the world, but also at the same time use that opportunity as a measure of warning to all of us of what would happen if totalitarianism takes over. And this is a threat that we're facing today. And we're facing it today because of the fact that this evil called the Chinese Communist Party has grown to be a superpower. And it's affecting each and every one of our lives. And unless everyone recognizes that, and unless we especially listen to the voices of those that have been victimized by this horrific system, we believe that we will be in imminent danger, and we truly owe it to the future generation, at least, to do something about it. So.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the Olympics. A lot of people calling those the genocide games, sure. In particular, what is happening to the Uyghurs there. But it's not just the Uyghurs in China. Can you talk about the other human rights abuses happening in that country?
Exactly. Believers, Catholics, Protestants, all Christian believers especially have been victims of the Chinese Communist Party since the beginning. And they've been oppressed. Some have gone through some horrific treatments since 1940s, and it really hasn't stopped. And it has only gotten worse under the hands of its dictator Xi Jinping. And so we see that. We also see the situation in Hong Kong, where we were promised a degree of autonomy and freedom, yet all of that has been eroded. Tibet and East Turkestan and Southern Mongolia, all of them are facing cultural genocide as well as arbitrary detentions every single day, and there will be an absence of human rights also if this goes on, and that's how bad it has gotten over the years. So,
what do you think the U.S. can and should do about these human rights abuses in China?
Well, I think we have to reevaluate our economic relations with China. And of course, I say this because our relations with China is part of the main reason why the CCP was able to grow as it is today. And so we have to reevaluate our relations with them in that regard, and also, recognize the fact that delinking human rights and our economic partnership was a mistake, and we need to amend that mistake and hold them accountable for all of the human rights abuses they're involved with.
We have about 10 seconds left. What would be your final message?
For all believers, please pray, and also ask your legislators to do the right thing, to stand with the people of the captive nations, and to truly just stand for freedom.
All right. Thank you so much, Se Hoon. Great having you on.
Thank you.